G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome back for part 5 of the Path of Exile Survival Guide series. Now, why are we back on the beach in Act 1 Normal? That doesn't make any sense. What I'm actually going to be doing just at the start before we progress on our main character is creating a mule. As you can see, this character is named Ice Shot Mueller, and that's because I want to go back and get the Ice Shot skill gem. Now, to get that, I simply need to go do the Breaking Some Eggs quest, which only takes about 10 minutes max. So I'm going to go ahead and run that quest, get that skill gem, and then I can put that in my stash simply and transfer that over to my main character. The reason I want to do this is because I really want to start leveling that skill so that when I do switch over, it's nicely leveled up and I can continue on. Now, you really don't need to worry too much about this character that you're muling. You just really want to run them straight there. Oh, we happen to get a rare sword though. I might as well sell that for some extra currency. If we're lucky, maybe we'll get a few currency drops while doing it as well. It's certainly not wasted time. Now, if you need to mule some skills, you can find out what skills you can get from which quests via the Path of Exile wiki, and I'll make sure to link that in the description below, so long as I remember. But basically, it's pretty much viable to do all the way up to probably like Brutus, I think, is the furthest you'd want to mule. So you can get some of your support gems from Brutus, maybe a little bit further. You could even go to Mervale, since, you know, you can do most of Act 1 in under 2 hours if you kind of just power it. So yeah, pretty viable to go ahead and mule any extra skills you need, and I'm going to be going ahead and getting Ice Shot on this character. So I'll see you guys back on my main character once I get Ice Shot. And here we go, we get some Ice Shot. As you can see, we didn't take Ice Shot before because we instead picked up Poison Arrow at this point. So muling Ice Shot is going to be very helpful for us. Go ahead and chuck that in our stash. Okay, so we're back on my main. As you can see, I've got Ice Shot here in my gloves, getting ready to level up. Now, we're going to head on into the rest of Act 2 and continue our progression. We have some sort of quests to do in side areas here before we can continue on into the later parts of Act 2. So let's jump straight into it by going to the Weaver's Den through Blackwood. But first I want to check the vendors for our resistance rings, because we're going to need some lightning rings pretty soon. We don't actually need it for the Weaver's chambers, but we do need it for Chamber of Sins that we'll be going to later. So this topaz ring looks about right, 25 lightning resist, and I don't know for sure if I level up again whether there'll be a lightning resist ring here when I come back. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that for now. We don't need to equip that just yet, and in fact we don't even really need fire too much in this next zone, so I'll go ahead just for life. We are going to be going back to this Blackwood area that does have some fire snakes, but we'll pretty much just be running through here and going to the next zone. So I'm not going to start using Ice Shot or anything like that yet. Poison Arrow is still fantastic for us to level with at the moment. But we want to start leveling up because it's going to increase the physical damage. And since this build that I'm using is going to be focusing on physical damage and then converting that physical damage to elemental damage both through Ice Shot and through added fire and things like that, I think it's a pretty good idea to get leveling that as soon as possible. So we've found the webbed area. This is exactly where you want to head. So you kind of just want to head off down one of these branches in the map somewhere from where the waypoint is to find this area. Once you get the webbed area, you kind of just want to search along the walls here until you find the entrance to the Weaver's Chambers here, which we got pretty lucky and found it straight away. Sometimes you'll have to search for a little bit longer, but it's not a huge deal. Now I'm going to turn my volume up a little bit because things are a little bit quiet, but let's continue on in here. Now, there is, as you would expect from all of the webbing, many spiders in this zone. There's two different types of spiders that we primarily need to watch out. There's small little baby ones that we don't need to worry too much about, but there's also spiders that flicker strike, which, as we've saw from the other flicker strikers in Act 1, they can be pretty dangerous. And there's also spiders that give us venom stacks or poison stacks, and that's not something we've encountered before, so that'll be a new mechanic for us to deal with, which is always nice and fun. And as you can see, we've got some of the flicker strikers in here. As always, the best way to deal with them is to try and stand still so that they don't jump around too much and deal too much damage. I don't really have a good reason to be leveling up Split Arrow, but I guess if we decide in the end we want to go for Split Arrow, we can level it up. But there's no disadvantage to leveling that up at the moment. So we'll go ahead and continue on. Split Arrow is a great skill to level up in general because it gains more projectiles the more you level it up. So pretty much everyone who wants to run Split Arrow on their build will be leveling it up. As you can see, Ice Shot has just gotten its first level, so we'll just make sure to keep clicking that as we go. These ones here use Viper Strikes, so we want to watch out for these guys. I'll get some Viper Strikes in a second and kind of talk a bit more about this. These are all Viper Strike ones. Okay, we've got one stack of Viper Strike, which deals some poison damage. You'll notice our health isn't really going down much because we have some life regen at the moment. It's not a big deal. But let's take multiple poison stacks. We start taking a lot more damage when that happens. Now there's something also that happens with the enemy AI. Once you have one Viper stack, you're much more likely to get others. I guess there's not too many here. We'll go get some more Viper Strikers soon, or I can just talk about it, I suppose. But once you have one Viper stack, other spiders are much more likely to use Viper stacks on you, so they can stack up really, really quickly. So when you've got a couple Viper stacks, Viper Strike stacks, a couple poison stacks, you want to kind of back out, wait for them to dissipate, and use your health pots to go through them. And if you are taking too much damage and your health pots aren't going to heal you through the poison, then you're going to want to use one of your town portal scrolls to go back to town. That'll remove the poison, and it'll refresh your flask, and you can come back into the zone. So if that happens, we'll make sure to do that. So far, we're doing okay, though. I don't think we need to worry about picking up a new quiver just yet, so I'm going to leave those white quivers. That is something we generally want to keep an eye out for. I'm running a bit low on mana, I'm not really managing my flask properly. Each time I switch between characters, I kind of have to get used to a new flask setup because they're often very different between characters. So I'm moving pretty quickly through here, but you can be very careful and sort of just clear out the rooms with your poison arrow if you need to. If you're a bit worried taking too much damage from the Viper Strikers, you can kind of just find a doorway and shoot your poison arrow through it. Like, you know, it'll clear out the room if you just, like, if there's spiders in there, they'll die from the poison cloud. So it's a viable way to clear it out, so we can do that sort of here once we've cleared out these ones that are actually on top of us. But no good gear drops yet. We should take a look at our gear in a second and see what we actually need to upgrade, because we're starting to head into higher level zones now, and we should be able to start looking for some upgrades. So we've got another Domination Shrine here, another Shock Nova one. I'll try and grab this. A little bit clustered in there, so I don't know how hard it's going to be to get to it, so I'm going to actually just take it a bit more cautiously and clear it out, rather than just running straight in there. And we've got another level in Ice Shot, so I'll go ahead and grab that. As you can see, I've got 2 Viper Strikes stacks there, and my health is starting to degen a little bit. I must have a fair bit of life regen on this character, actually. Let's see if we can find a life regen per second. Yeah, 9.8, so we must have a few... Yeah, we've got a few pieces of gear with some life regen on it, which is helping out with that, I guess. So that's pretty nice. I open the Eye of the Storm, so we can just kind of run around now and let our Shock Nova do the work for us. Quite nice, quite nice. I'm always pretty excited to get on and do these Path of Exile Survival Guide series videos. I'm glad to hear that so many of you guys are getting a lot out of them and enjoying them, getting lots of tips out of it, finding it very helpful. It's been something I've always wanted to do, but I didn't quite feel like I had the commentary skill sets to do it, and I wanted to just keep improving my game knowledge, but I think now's the right time with launch coming out recently. So I've got an accurate, powerful crits Void Trap here, very dangerous mob, so we're just trying to keep our distance from it. Using the other mobs to block its progress towards us, so we can kind of, you know, corral it in behind the other spiders, which are less dangerous. But pretty tanky little spiders, extra life little baby spiders. Notice they're taking quite a long time to kill. But there's a leather belt over there. Our belt's still really quite good, so we'll keep our belt. We don't need to upgrade any of that sort of stuff just yet, it appears. So there's no particular trick for finding a way through the Weaver's Chambers. Sometimes I find the, you know, the boss chamber that we're trying to find almost instantly. And then other times I search the entire thing 3 times over and then realize I've missed a tiny little crevice somewhere and have missed the zone exit. So I don't really have any tricks for you guys to navigate your way through here. But as always, if you happen to know of one, let me know, because I love all of these extra little tricks. Anyway, this guy's got a lot of life as well. He's got life regen, so he's kind of counteracting the poison degeneration that we're applying to him. Also, our bow doesn't do much direct damage at the moment, so kind of just waiting. Oh, we should be using our fire trap. That's what we should be doing. Always have to adjust back to my new character. Yeah, that helps out a lot. Okay, there we go. So we've got to make sure to start using our fire traps as well as our poison arrows. Be much more efficient. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any chambers here. As always, on the map, we're looking for the red doorway. So I'll go ahead and use my Quicksilver to continue through here. And as you can see, it's just small chamber after small chamber. It's kind of it's a bit claustrophobic, and if you're also arachnophobic, then you're probably not going to have a good time in here at all. So we've got a greater life flask there. We do want to pick that up because we actually have a large life flask we want to upgrade. Always keeping your eye out for flask upgrades where you can. We've got this one is actually magical, so I might hold on to this one until we can roll that one, until maybe we can start transmuting our flasks. I think it might be a good time to start transmuting our flasks and making them magical as well. It looks like we might have found the right area here. A bunch of Flicker Strikers in this room, pretty dangerous as you can see, and just trying to use my flask to manage my way through this damage. Which is good. It's a good thing to practice, to be honest. It would have been safer to have not ran straight into this room with a bunch of Flicker Strikers, or to back out once you see that there's a bunch of blue Flicker Strikers. But managing your flasks is also a viable strategy. if you feel like you can take the damage. We have a lot of life on this character at the moment. We've done pretty well in terms of our gear, and just making sure we're getting a little bit of life on each gear where possible, each piece of gear. So I'm going to continue searching through this, and hopefully I'll eventually find the door to show you guys. Now, we just grabbed a level, so I'm going to continue heading down. We've just gotten thick skin. Now we're going to be coming down through iron reflexes and heading through this duelist area now. So I could pick up beef or wisdom of the glade. Do we need... This is actually a really good time to look at whether we need any sort of extra stats. So poison arrow, you know, only takes dex. All of the skills we take now only really use dex. I don't really see any that use int. Some support gems will sometimes require int as well. So we will be able to pick up that intelligence node when we need it, but we don't actually need it yet. So we might as well continue down now and head our way towards iron reflexes and that sort of thing. We might actually skip iron reflexes just for a little while before using it to convert our evasion over to armor, because evasion's still fairly effective at this point without having to stack too much of it. But our gear's kind of all over the place. Maybe it would be a good idea to pick up iron reflexes. We'll see how I feel in a few levels. But it's never a really bad choice. Armor is always very solid. And that's kind of the idea behind this build, is to get that iron reflexes to make things simple. And armor's a nice simple defensive mechanic. Evasion takes a little bit more care and specific play style to use correctly. So we'll continue using our fire traps. I think we've found the chamber this time. I said that before though, so we'll see if we get a bit more lucky this time. Here we go, the Weaver's Nest. Now as you can see, I did have to do like a whole loop of this zone. Let's have a look. We did a whole loop of the zone before coming back over here, so as you can see, it kind of is a little bit tricky to find sometimes. Now, this fight is amazing. It used to be kind of scary, but now it is terrifying. We're going to head forwards into this room, and the Weaver's going to drop down on us, attack us, and she's also going to spawn a bunch of little baby spiders and things like that to kill us, to try and kill us off. And she uses a pretty crazy attack as well. So let's jump in there and have a look at this. This fight is terrifying. So the first thing we want to do, the very first thing we want to do, is clear off these adds, these additional mobs, because these first ones that spawn are actually blue and are quite dangerous. We don't really want to engage her until we've killed these guys off. So just fire trapping and drawing them off. It looks like we've actually been able to move away from the Weaver, which is good. We've kept her up in the top away from these guys. We can kill these guys off and actually wait for our Viper Strike stacks to disappear, because we've got 2 there. We don't really want to have that extra sort of thing fighting us. So, moving up, back up. Now we've got extra adds. These are the ones that'll constantly spawn throughout the fight. So you kind of just need to do whatever you can to keep sustained damage on the Weaver. Fire Trap's going to be a bit easier in here, because if she's behind those spiders, we won't be able to hit her directly with the poison arrow. So I'm just going to keep my fire trap. Oh, I got caught in the corner there. Not good, not good. So yeah, watch out for little crevices along the walls and things like that. But as you can see, she just keeps spawning adds. So you just need to keep drawing her onto your fire traps and poison arrow clouds. So I'm going to keep stacking up those AoE. If you're using direct damage skills at this point and you don't have any really solid AoE skills, you can have a really tough time in this fight. So this is a perfect example of why AoE skills are very, very important in Path of Exile. We need to be able to damage her at the same time as damaging her extra mobs that are with her. You know, if we were just trying to shoot through those spiders, we wouldn't be having much luck at the moment. But, taking a lot of damage there. She hits really hard. Now you see she also spits out these projectiles, which is actually basically a form of ethereal knives that's been adapted for this boss fight. Very cool skill. Does a fair bit of damage, but there's not too much you can do to avoid it except for kind of stay out of range of it. Has a big cone arc effect. So she's jumped up now. Once she takes a certain amount of damage, she will at some point jump up like that, hide away. It's a good chance just to clear out the adds, and you just want to do that then. And take a bit of a breather, let your health and mana regen a bit. But now, just jump straight back into dealing as much damage as possible. And because she has energy shield as well, same deal as Merveil, you want to keep that sustained damage on her the whole time. Now Fire Trap will keep her energy shield down, so we want to make sure she's always standing in fire where possible. Poison Arrow, however, the Poison Arrow Cloud won't keep her energy shield down. It'll only damage her life, which is viable. You could eventually kill her that way, but it's nice to both damage her life directly with Fire Trap and with the Poison Arrows. So keeping her energy shield down is a good idea. We've almost got her down now. As you can see, each time she hits us, we take a fair bit of damage, but because of all the adds we're killing, because of all the extra spiders we're killing, our flask charges are staying full. Now, as long as you manage those properly, you will be able to get through this fight. And we did. Now, these adds don't disappear, so make sure you kill them off before you go in to pick up the loot. Because I've had people trying to pick up the loot before and almost dying in that fight. So, let's see if we got anything good. Some silk slippers could be okay. I think we've got really nice boots at the moment, though, so... Oh, and those spiders burst into other spiders. Ooh, Topaz Ring. We've actually got 2 lightning resist rings. Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So we didn't need to buy the other one, but having 2 is actually going to be really good. So from here... Oh, we did... Okay, now I just want to say, make sure you always pick up Malakara's Spike. So many times I've forgotten to do it and have to run all the way back through here, or even fight the boss later because I forgot that I didn't get it, and continued on with the other questing. So don't do that. I'm just going to go ahead and sell those boots. My boots are really good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get an upgrade with a blue item. So we'll go ahead and sell these, and I don't know why we have a conductive quiver. Might as well sell that as well. Now, do we have any transmutation orbs? We don't currently. We only have some alterations, so that's unfortunate. I'd really like to roll one of these topaz rings, but not going to happen. And it'd also be nice to get some to roll some flasks as well. So maybe we should start picking up some magical items just to sell off to the vendor. I might go ahead and update this fast now, because that's, as you can see, 300 life over 7 seconds compared to 160 life over 7 seconds. The fact that it's the same duration means you're recovering life much, much faster, and when you're taking more damage as you progress into more dangerous zones, that's super important. And I think it's more important than the evasion, because we don't actually have too much evasion. We're actually using some armor gear and some armor energy shield gear and things like that, so we've got kind of some low-level stuff here as well, so that's not going to help us out too much. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. Now, we want to go ahead and equip our topaz rings now. It drops our life by quite a bit, but resistances are going to be much more important in this next zone we're moving into. With both of them, we actually have almost capped resist. The cap is 75%, we're at 73%, which is more than enough. I'd even be happy with doing this at like 40 to 50%, but 70% is still going to be pretty nice, So, we're taking the waypoint to the crossroads now. I don't think there's anything else we really need to prep at the moment. But from the crossroads, we're simply going to head off into the leftwards direction. The west road, we're going to take the west road, and we'll actually run into the zone boss while going along this way. Watching out for these bears. We've kind of already fought the mobs in this zone, so nothing too new. We've got a rare there. This guy could be pretty dangerous. Allies deal substantial extra physical damage. This sort of aura, so this red spiky aura here, on bears and things like that that hit really hard is very, very dangerous. These guys already deal a ton of damage. So with that extra aura, they're going to deal a lot more. Let's actually tank some hits from him just to see. And that applies to all of his friends as well. Oh, we're doing okay. This zone is a bit lower level now. We're about 3 levels over for this zone. So we're doing pretty good. So this would be dangerous if we were on a zone that was appropriate to our level, but this is a little bit lower now since we've done some of the side quests. And you can see, we've also got the unique mob in there as well. You might be able to just pick him out in the crowd. He looks like a bandit. He's kind of shiny. There he is, Calaf Headstaver. What an awesome name. He doesn't really do anything too special. I think he does some big hits. As you can see, big heavy strike there. That would do a lot of damage if you happen to run this way earlier on in the game. But since we did the efficient Act 2 clearing route, he's not really too much of a problem. But we'll kill these guys off because they still give us pretty nice experience here. Something I want to mention is it's always worthwhile. I've mentioned before that it's always worthwhile opening the named chests, and I think that's still that really holds true. So I wanted to emphasize on that. We've got like these wooden chests in here. They're always great to open. You have good potential for loot drops from them, and especially as we're leveling. We want to get. Oh man, that Frost Nova kills my FPS while recording. We want to get some nice upgrades while we're running along. Okay, so we've got our resist rings on and we're heading into the Chamber of Sins. We're in Chamber of Sins level 1. There's 3 levels in this zone, and the first one's not too bad. So we'll head through. In fact, there's not really any lightning resist in the first zone that I know of that we need to worry about too much. So we've got some generic zombies, just shambling sort of guys. Nothing really too much to worry about there. We do have some lightning damage here from the lightning arrow ranged skeletons. That's not too bad as long as a bunch of them don't shoot you at the same time. Just be careful because when they hit walls, the area of effect can still trigger on you and deal a bit of extra damage. So try and stand out in the open to avoid those guys. We've got another zombie here. Now there's actually a unique boss in this this level as well that I'd like to show off. So I'll see if I can find him for you guys. Okay, I think we've found him. He always spawns in this area here that's kind of like a big circle area. So he's pretty obvious. He's pretty shiny looking. And you'll see this area of effect around him. Enemies take chaos damage over time. This is the first degeneration mob that we've encountered that just applies a degen. There's no way to avoid this. If you stand near him, you're going to take a lot of life damage. As you can see, degens my life down very quickly. So the only way to deal with this is to flask carefully. So flask through it. Make sure you're using the full duration of your flask, or to simply stay out of range of it. So if you're a melee character, you're going to want to run in there, use your flask to the best of your ability, damage him as much as possible. I can keep flasking. You'll notice my health still goes up when I use my high level flask. If you still had small flasks at this point, if you haven't been upgrading your flask, fights like this can be very difficult because you won't be able to flask through that much damage. So for example, my 160 life per 7 seconds flask wouldn't really be enough to counteract this, I don't think. But the large flask we've got now, the greater life flasks, are more than enough. It's very nice. No real loot from him, unfortunately. But I wanted to show him off because I think he's a pretty interesting guy, and it kind of teaches you a different mechanic. I think Grinding Gear Games has done a really nice job with introducing mechanics to you over time in this game, and just through actual gameplay, not actually giving you a tutorial saying, hey, this guy deals chaos damage, you should try and flask through it, or, avoid it if you can. But instead, they just put these guys there, and you die to them, and you learn your lessons that way. So we're going down to the Chamber of Sins now. If you haven't equipped your lightning resist rings by now's the point to do it. Chamber of Sins level 2 is where lightning starts to become a little bit more prominent, and it'll start to get worse and worse as we head down further into the Chamber of Sins. So we've got a fast attacks rare here. Kind of dangerous, but not a big deal when he hasn't got a bunch of mobs around him. Just by himself, he's not going to deal too much damage to me. I'd like to upgrade my mana fast when I can. They're running a bit low. Oh, he's actually wailing on me pretty good there. Okay, so continuing here, kind of just being a little bit careful, jumping into new zones. So you'll see now we're starting to see some sparkly skeletons. These guys deal lightning damage in melee, so as long as you stay out of the melee or you don't get surrounded, they're okay. And if you have lightning resist, they're not going to do too much as well. So let's see how much. Let's actually test this. Yeah, they're not doing too bad. We're resisting most of the extra lightning damage that they would deal, so that's pretty nice stuff. Now, the thing about lightning damage in general is if you're having a lot of lightning attacks hitting you, there's a chance that you're going to get shock stacked. And while you might not be taking very much damage from the initial lightning hits, if you get shock stacked, you're going to take 30% more damage per shock stack. You can actually have 3 shock stacks at any one time. So they tend to happen in rapid succession. Once you get 1 shock stack, you tend to get your other 2 pretty quickly, and that's when you start taking a ton of extra damage. You're essentially taking double damage. So it can really stack up like that and be very, very dangerous. So if you notice your shock stack, basically your character will start sparkling. I'll try and show that off if I can. Then you wanna back out until that dissipates. Now the duration of the shock stack actually correlates with how much damage you took. So a small skeleton hitting you will probably only give you like a 1 or 2 second shock stack, whereas like a boss that does lightning damage hitting you could give you like 5 or even 10 second shock stacks. I've seen some very long shock stacks. So if that happens, you want to back up and just be very careful. Looks like some of these guys deal poison arrows too. Actually, I hadn't really ever thought about that. It's not too much about that as long as you don't stand there in the poison. Not too much to worry about. Yeah, those mana flasks are starting to fall behind a bit now. As you can see, they're only medium mana flasks, and I'm having trouble keeping up with the mana requirements of my skills now. So I want to try and upgrade those. I'll probably check the vendor after this quest to try and find some better ones of those. Ooh, okay, we've been cursed. Conductivity. I should make sure to point out curses and things you need to be aware of. Now, who actually casted that? Should have been a necromancer that casted that. Yeah, here he is. So these guys cast conductivity on you, and that's going to make you have a much higher chance of being shocked and much more damage from lightning. So you'll notice, actually, if I can get cursed, I'll bring up my page here. Get cursed. And you'll notice my lightning resist will jump right down once I get cursed. Come on, curse me. Curse me. Come on, you can do it. Come on. These guys never want to act on command. You see all the way down to 33 lightning resist. Now we're stacking 2 rings, so we're still kind of okay. 33 is still okay. But if we didn't have any rings on, or if we only had 1, we'd actually be in negative resist now. So pretty dangerous. You want to always keep an eye out for those curses. Thankfully the duration's short and you can kind of back off. I'm not being too thorough in here, although it's good XP. We're still doing very nicely in terms of level. We're 21 and this is a 20 zone. So I actually clear out this room and do my level though. Of course, the thing about necromancers is always that you need to kill them or they're just going to keep rezzing their skeletons. Okay, there we go. It's like, we're never gonna get through this if we don't kill him straight away. Okay, so next point, just taking the point just below Iron Reflexes, nothing really too exciting. I think we will take Iron Reflexes next. We don't have that much evasion, it's just going to give us... We actually have very high evasion, but it's going to convert over to pretty nicely, so I think that'll be worthwhile doing. Now, same as the Weaver's Chambers, make sure to watch out for Viper Strike spiders. Some of them do. Most of them don't. Most of them just are just plain old spiders. that don't really do anything except normal damage. But some of them do Viper Strikes, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. I think there's actually a boss on this level that does Viper Strikes though, so I'll see if I can find that boss, because that would be really nice to show off. Because that's a good example of very dangerous Viper Strikes, that one. Oh, there's a waypoint. So you don't really need to grab that waypoint if you're going to do this entire thing in one run. But, you know, it's always nice to grab them in case you happen to have to log out or, you know, something like that. Something happens and you need to get back. They'll save you a bit of time. To be honest, I don't often end up grabbing that waypoint. Okay, here she is. Yeah, there we go. Black Death, the giant spider boss of this zone. Deals, uses Viper Strikes and just does a lot of damage as well. So let's actually take one of those and I'll try and kill off the ads actually. I don't want to deal with everything at once. I don't actually want to die, I just want to show things. So you saw us got hit there and take almost half of our damage in one hit, so she's pretty dangerous. The good thing is she can usually avoid this boss. Oh, big hits. There's a Viper Strike. Okay, so I've actually just flasked and able to heal through it, but still does quite a bit of damage to those ones, so you want to be pretty careful. Now you can either kill this one ranged, or you can just completely avoid it. As I said, I actually ran into an exit before encountering this boss, and often you can just run around. And the fact that it's kind of a melee creature, you can easily kind of avoid it, work your way around it towards the exit. So, one you can avoid, but still a fun fight, and I enjoy encountering these different unique mobs. But let's see if she drops any good loot. That's always a good thing. They do, of course the unique mobs do have a little bit increased loot drop rate over just your traditional mobs, so you can sometimes get a good upgrade from them. If you are a completionist, it's fun to kill off all of these different creatures. There we go. Ooh, we got some rare gloves. Could be good. Has potential. And we got another rare mob here as well. Mana Starve, need to use those mana fast a little bit better. I actually really want to upgrade those guys. And there we go. Okay, let's check out these gloves. We currently have some rare gloves, but they're pretty rubbish. So, oh yeah, much nicer. 20 strength, 15 dex, life, and some accuracy. The life roll isn't very great, but extra dex is extra accuracy as well on top of the normal accuracy, and strength equals extra life as well. So this should actually give us a pretty nice life boost. So there we go, all the way up to 628. I'll go ahead and swap Ice Shot out for something else that I'm not using. So I'll go ahead and put it in place of Split Arrow for now. And we'll continue leveling that up. So, as you can see, level 3 now, we'll head down into here, and here's where the lightning damage starts to get really, really insane. Okay, so in level 3, you want to be pretty careful going into new rooms. There's a lot of lightning spellcaster skeletons in this area, and especially if they have if they're around a crit shrine, that could be very dangerous. As you can see, they cast the Spark spell, which by themselves don't deal too much damage, but the room can very quickly fill up full of sparks, and they can shock stack you, causing you to take a ton of damage. And once you get a few shock stacks, those sparks will down you pretty quickly. So, I don't actually know what that shrine is, but that's a pretty dangerous room. So this is the sort of thing where we want to pull these guys out and use our fire traps and poison arrows to work them down. But yeah, you can see some other ones that deal more direct damage, but the sparks are the ones that are really dangerous, I find. Let's see if we can grab this shrine here. Bam, there we go. What was it, out of interest? It was a diamond shrine, so those sparks, if they had been casted off one that was under the effect of the diamond shrine, would have 100% chance shock stacked us. So, something you want to be pretty super careful of. But I'll give you an example of how quickly a room can fill up here. Spark's actually been nerfed a little bit, so it's not as bad as it used to be, actually, because they don't travel quite as far. But you can see they kind of bounce around quite a bit just from a few spellcasters here. Can pretty quickly fill up the room, and things can get a little bit out of control. Kind of wasted my diamond shrine there, but oh well. Showing things off, educational. So, just continuing through here, being pretty careful. Obviously, if you get conductivity cast on you as well, those sparks are going to be even more dangerous. So we'll make sure to kill off these guys where we can. Alright, and it looks like we've made our way through to the boss chamber. I actually have a few Viper Strike stacks on me. Oh well. So once you kind of get to this hallway section, you know you're kind of going in the right direction. I actually probably did the most direct route I've ever done. I just one little side route there. I've had some pretty bad runs through Chamber of Sins before, but we're doing okay. So, now, this is where you really want that lightning resist. In case it hasn't been emphasized as much, lightning resist is pretty important in here. But Path of Exile kind of tends to do this a bit, where zones are very strongly themed to certain sort of things. So in Act 3, we'll go into the crematorium, which will have a ton of fire damage. We're going to want fire resist. Here, it's all about the lightning damage, so make sure your lightning resists are up to spec, because the boss we're about to fight does a ton of lightning damage. And here he is, Fidelitas the Morning. Oh, lightning strike. Now, I'll tank this. I'll tank one of these. And you can see, even with lightning resist, these do quite a bit of damage without lightning resist. I should for lols. Let's for lols. For educational lols. Take some non-lightning resisting damage here. Yeah, getting pretty low there, pretty nasty. So let's go ahead and put our lightning resist back on. Keep things safe. Now, in normal, I have to be honest, you can get away with a lot of things in normal, like not really paying attention to your resist and stuff like that, but this is kind of the good habits you want to get into. I have a lot of life, and I can tank his hits even without any lightning resist here, but if we were to happen to go up against him without any resist in Cruel or Merciless, where their damage is increasing greatly, then things are going to get very, very, very dangerous very quickly, and getting one-shot by Fidelitas isn't that unusual if you don't have your resist up to spec. Mana starved at the moment. But I'll continue working him down. Yeah, feel free to kind of like kite him here. The thing about Lightning Strike is it kind of shoots out 3 projectiles. One that kind of goes straight from the original point of impact. So if you kind of you can kind of get to the side of him a little bit and try and avoid most of those projectiles. And there we go, he goes down. Didn't really drop anything good for us. We're going to head up into here now and grab the Baleful Jim. Make sure you grab this again. Now, this, if we head back down the stairs here, just running away from those sparks. You can talk to Helena here, or Helena, and you don't really need to though. You can actually just go straight back to town without talking to her, but if you want some extra lore, it's the place to go get it. So, one final thing left to do in this episode. Well, first we're going to talk and get our quest rewards, because we actually get a quest reward for both of those quests. So I should have gotten the first one after doing the Weaver's Chambers, but we'll grab these now. So what do we have? We have Frenzy. I'm pretty sure we're grabbing Frenzy from this one. Yeah, we're grabbing Frenzy. Frenzy is going to be our single target skill for this build, so it should work out really well. If you guys have seen the explanation video, or if you haven't, you should go check that out. But we'll go get the second reward from Silk. And I think PS will be the way to go. We don't have a lesser multiple projectiles. That'll also be super helpful. I think we should probably get lesser multiple projectiles for when we start using Arse Shot. Get that in advance, and we'll start leveling up the skills we're actually going to use if we can. So let's do some skill gem rearranging. We're not really using Burning Arrow, and I don't think we ever really will again. So I'll go ahead and level up lesser multiple projectiles. That gives us increased damage as you level that up, so it's nice to do. And Bear Trap. I don't think I'm really going to use Bear Trap either. We're using Fire Trap quite a bit though, so we'll make sure to keep that on. And we'll start leveling up Frenzy as well, because that deals a lot of extra damage as it levels up too. So pretty good stuff. You can get some extra lore from all of the guys in here. And then, yeah, we'll actually end it there, because we want to continue the run through after we do the next zone. Our next step is to head out left here to the riverways, and we're actually going to be looking for some tree roots to use the combined Malagaro Spike and the Baleful Gem to destroy the tree roots and continue on throughout the act. And later we'll come back and do some bandit kills and stuff like that as well. But that was a pretty good run, pretty successful. We got quite a few levels. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and found it educational and entertaining. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.